Good morning, everyone. In this week's Torah portion, amongst the many commandments, there's a commandment that says, do not taunt or oppress the stranger in your community because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And the question is, does the Torah have to give a reason why not to taunt and oppress a stranger? Of course you should not taunt and oppress a stranger. You shouldn't taunt and oppress anyone. And perhaps the Torah is telling us that it's not enough to not taunt or oppress the stranger, but by remembering that you were strangers in the land of Egypt, and by not just sympathizing with the stranger, but empathizing with the stranger, and going back in history as we do every year at the Passover Seder, and recalling the story of our slavery and eating the bitter herbs, and keeping that memory alive of what it felt like for our ancestors to be abused and taken advantage of and oppressed. By doing that, you will have empathy and feel the pain of the stranger, and therefore you will not just refrain from taunting or oppressing them, but you'll actually be kind and compassionate to them. As the Torah goes on to say, you shall love the stranger because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Today we talk about what's going on in the world. There's so much anti-Semitism towards the Jewish community. And everyone's looking for a solution. How do you cure anti-Semitism? And I think what we have to help people understand is that what would it feel like if you were being oppressed, if you were the one who were being subjugated, if you were the one who were being taunted and assaulted? How would it feel? Every person has experienced in their life a time where someone hurt them or took advantage of them or manipulated them or abused them because they were in the minority, because they were different, because they were the other. And try to think about that hatred of the other that you experienced, and now think about how your actions are impacting someone else. There's a famous story about Gandhi, who was once getting on a train, and as he jumped on the train, one of his shoes fell off onto the tracks. And he immediately, instinctively reached down for his second shoe and threw it down to the tracks. And someone said to him, why did you do that? And he said, because when a poor person in India finds one shoe, instead of just having one shoe, he'll now have a nice new pair of shoes. And what Gandhi did was, he said, if I feel what it's like to have one shoe now, I could empathize with someone else who's going to have one shoe when they find my shoe. And just like I would like to have a second shoe, that person would also like to have a second shoe. So therefore, let me throw my second shoe down to the tracks. Whenever we're oppressed, whenever we're hurt, wherever we're mistreated, we should take that opportunity, like the Torah says, and turn that into a moment of empathy and compassion to think about someone else in that situation, in those circumstances, and how they would feel. And that should lead you to love and care and be more compassionate towards others and to the strangers in our midst. Have a wonderful day.